Welcome to the Tim Castle Live Show, where we meet courageous people doing inspirational things around the world. This video is all about how to handle objections like a pro. So the first thing is, welcome to the game. If you've got objections, you are in the game. It's where you want to be. Objections, bring them on. Let's do it. Let's see those objections. Let's go. Because this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to close. Objections are leading you forward. A client with no objections isn't sticky. It's not something that you really want to be looking for. What you want is the objections because they give you an opportunity to dive deeper, to share more. They're inviting you closer. So if you think about influence and persuasion, if someone's inviting you closer, and objections, where people make mistakes is objections, they take them as offense. They're like, oh my goodness, what do you mean you don't understand what I've just explained to you? What do you mean there's other companies out there that can do what we do? What do you mean that you don't think this is innovative? And they take offense. And instead of accepting and welcoming the objection, they put up a barrier and they create conflict from the get-go. So if you want to learn how to make bank, close more deals, and win the game, stay with me for the entirety of this video. The number one tip is stay cool and own the room. So you've just heard the objection from the client. Maybe it was a no. Maybe it was a pointy question. Maybe it was something that got under your skin. It's just like when you're handling a kid. How you react is going to influence how they react. Now, I'm not calling your client a kid. Far from it. This is all about human behavior and psychology. If you raise your emotions up and you bristle at the fact that they've made this objection or that they've asked this curly question or that they've annoyed you, you're only going to bring more emotion into the equation, and that's not going to be a good thing for this particular moment. You need to stay calm and you need to own the room. And so they said something, welcome it. Okay, cool, welcome it. Just like when you're with a child, you need to really de-stress, be calm, cool, and collected. Master your body language, be open, and really welcome that. Lean in with curiosity. And so that is going to help them lean in because they're going to feel that you're warm. They're going to feel that that threat is not there. That conflict's not there. There's a gap, and they're going to lean in and they're going to be invited in with your question. So it's like objection, open the door and welcome them in. Imagine that. Imagine giving them a hug. Thank you. Objection is here. I was waiting for you to ask that. That's how you need to receive it. It's the energy you need to receive that objection with. As a salesperson, as a negotiator, as a leader, the response you need to go for is something along the lines of, I get it. No, I totally get it. Right? It's relaxed, it's confident, it invites the other party to share more. I totally get it. I hear you. I totally understand where you're coming from. Paint me a picture. Just bear with me. What would it be like if we did this? Or can you explain that a little bit more, especially this part? Or what do you think we could do to kind of work our way around that? Posing a question with curiosity, whilst agreeing with them, whilst saying, I've been there, I get it, I totally hear you, allows the other party to feel heard and understood, which is what they need in that moment when they've stated that objection, to come closer, to build that collaboration, to build that trust, that relationship that's going to help you uncover, diagnose, get the information you need so that you can triage this. And when you're not looking to sell them based on your own needs like commission or the pressure that you have at work, and you're looking to close them because it's the right thing for them to do and because you have what they need and you're offering way more value than you're charging, that's felt, right? So you're there to advise as the expert in the room who's been there and has seen these kind of objections day in, day out. So you know the pathway to navigate, to get through them, not just to handle their objection, but to actually help them get to where they need to go. So you're aligning them with the right solution and the right package and the right framing of what they want, the result. And you're able to help them as an advisor, as a trusted confidant in that moment. And so many miss that moment because they get offended. because they take the objection head on and they clash with it. And so recognize what it is. It's an opportunity for you to learn more. Who wouldn't want that? As a salesperson, as a commercial decision maker, as a leader, you're in these conversations. Your whole job is to learn more, to gain insights. And that's where you're going to gain the leverage, the influence, the persuasion. All the things you're looking to do happen because you learn more. And they happen as a natural result because your instincts are going to kick in. You're going to have the right thing to be able to suggest to them. You're going to know where to take them. You've got the map. You know how to navigate, but without an understanding of the terrain and the world they're in, you're going to find it really difficult. So objections are like gold. Welcome them and welcome to the game. And it is a game, right? Number 2 is all about you. You've got to take responsibility. You've got to hit them with the right questions. So again, it's not just being welcoming and saying, hey, come in. Like, you've got an objection? Come here. I'm going to take some punches. That's not what I mean. It's that you were able to back this up and ask the right questions that allow you to take control and reframe the situation. So you can break it down and be good. Look, I get it. I totally get it. But let's be real. We've got to do something about this. What do you suggest? Breaking it down, let's be real. And you hit them with a question after that because you've leveled the playing field. You've changed it and you've reframed the situation. But let's be real. We can't continue with what you're currently doing. So we've got to change something. What about this could we change? You can think of objections as off-the-cuff excuses. So this is something that they're used to saying because it sounds good or because they think they need to have an objection, or it's just their go-to excuse. And so they want to see what happens, but actually there may be a real issue behind that. And so your job is to look behind that as an investigator. Objections are excuses in disguise, but they're disguising a real issue potentially. And so you need to uncover that. You need to get behind that. So let's be honest, what's really holding you back with this decision? What's really keeping you from pulling the trigger here? In the last meeting, you were totally urgent and ready to sign. Now we've got to hear. Let's be honest, what's happening? If you don't mind, and we can keep this off the record, what happened? Like, where did this go once we last spoke? After the last meeting, you were very passionate about getting started. Now I'm getting the sense that maybe things have gone a little off track. What's happening? What's holding you back? So you get in and you're able to uncover the real objection. It might not be the thing they're saying, but underneath there may be another layer to this, and you need to hit that layer so that you can triage and you can take control of the frame of this conversation. Number 3 is a big one. So you've got to reframe the game. The fact is, if they're talking to you and they're hitting you with objections, a lot of the time they're actually interested in what you want. And this is where the negotiation has already started. So they're trying to negotiate price, for example, or get a discount because they're interested in actually getting what you have. And you need to counter that. But you don't need to counter it like a bulldozer. You counter it by pointing out the obvious. If they're saying, so this is so expensive, what's going on? You can be like, well, compared to what? So you dig into their question, you answer their question with a question and get them to explain. And then they have to justify. Once they're justifying, they're either going to see one of two things: that they don't have anything to back it up, no comparison points, and it was just oh, well, it sounds expensive, doesn't it? 5%, 10%, I was thinking 1%. You get to show them, and then you get to bring your evidence to back up why it's not expensive, or to why the value is worth paying for. Or they're going to show you that actually, no, it is expensive. And what do? Were you learning something? You're learning what your competitor pricing is. You're learning more about where they're able to get value and what value they're getting in the market. So it's a win-win for you to counter that objection with a question instead of getting offended and trying to defend their objection. You're not defending when you're asking a question. You're asking for more information, and that's gold. Number 4 is all about using social proof and influence to be able to help close the deal. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means you've got testimonials, reviews, case studies up your sleeves. This, again, doesn't have to be in the format you think it does. It can be conversational. Again, agreeing with them. Like, look, I totally hear you. I hear this every time we talk to clients like you. But let me show you something. Here are 5 clients that thought the same. Like I've seen it. They thought that too. And these are the results. This is what happened. Testimonials are super powerful. And remember, just because they said an objection doesn't mean you have to answer it head on. That's a buying signal if handled correctly, that objection. And you can take them on a journey and increase their trust through the use of social proof. It's the way you do it, not what you're doing. You've got to do it in a certain way to make it feel natural and to take them through that journey so that it doesn't feel like you're selling to them. You're actually showing them the very thing they need to bring the barriers down, to calm them. And you're doing that, just again, like with a kid, in a calm, controlled manner. So it's about the way you show up and you maintain that control. You're not flustered, you're not triggered, you're not annoyed. You're in the zone, you're joyful, you're happy to be there, and you're the guide and the expert for this client. And this is value. This is value. This is your opportunity to show real value, even before the relationship's even begun, even before they've signed on the dotted line. You're adding value. And so remember that. You have something valuable to offer. Salespeople miss this all the time because they're afraid, and that because they're afraid of rejection, they think they oversell, they overtalk. They think they have to prove it and justify and show with all their passion and enthusiasm and might. But that's not really what does the trick. With sales, you have to remember that you have something of value to offer this person. And so it would be irresponsible of you not to offer it to them, to not show them how you can benefit and help them. And that's where the key lies, because your value, as long as you know what you've got and you're aligning value, it's all good. And you're there as a guide to show them, this is how we've added value to these people's lives. This is how we've changed these clients' profits, revenues, decreased risk, increased growth, the things you want. And so it's a journey that you're taking them on. And social proof is a big one. Number 6 is take the risk off their shoulders. This is a very clever strategy, and it's snuck in there. If you've ever bought insurance or a policy, or you've been and talked to a financial advisor, they'll slip this in there and it will sound brilliant to you. It'll just sound like, look, we've got a small clause in there. Look, if at any point you're not happy with our services, we offer a money back guarantee, or we can get out of this. There's no penalties, there's nothing there. We can divest this. Actually, at the end of the year, if you're not happy, you don't actually have to pay the fee. It's in there in the T's and C's. It's totally fine. We can waive the fee for you. Oh, but no one's ever done that because they're always so happy with our services. It's snuck in there, but what it really does, no one ever is going to do that because they're going to provide value, right? Firstly, they wouldn't be a very good financial advisor, insurance agent, company if they're not providing massive value. And secondly, what it's done to you as an individual, as a potential client, is it's helped minimize your risk. You feel more at ease because you know, oh, well, it's not costing me anything. In your mind, you're not thinking about the time, the relationship you've built. You're not thinking about the market and where it's gone and the fact that you haven't gone with a different supplier for that whole year. You're not thinking about the added value it brings to them. You're just thinking about the fact they didn't cost you anything. So you can always get back your money or your fees if you need to. And so you feel much better. So you're much more willing to sign because in your mind it's risk-free. That's a really good example about how salespeople take the risk off other people's shoulders to help them move through and close the deal. And the final point from me here is never give up. Sales is about relentlessness, persistence, and resilience. It's about consistency and follow-up, and remembering that you're not here to push it at this exact time. If it's not right for them, what's right for you is building the relationship and keeping that for 6 months later, and come back to them. Keep offering value. Keep them warm. Keep that ball up in the air. But when you're going to catch it is a bit later, right? But don't burn that bridge. Just remember that sales is around being relentless and having that momentum so that you don't rely just on this one ball landing. You've got multiple balls up in the air and you're ready to come back to this at any point. But you've got momentum, you're going somewhere, you're relentless, you've got resilience and persistence. So stay in the game. Don't give up just because they say no. No doesn't mean no, it means just not right now. And it probably means yes if you ask the right questions. So stick with it. Keep your composure. This is all about you, your self-image, and how you approach the situation. Two different sellers can go into the same situation and come out with very different outcomes. So let's make sure that you're coming out with top seller outcomes, top negotiator outcomes, deal winning, rainmaker, let's make hay while the sun shines type attitude. This is a person that's going places. This is a rainmaker. This is someone that's a game changer. This is a person that people want to be around. And trust me, if you're out there making moves like that, getting deals signed, people want to be around you. They want to be mentored by you. They want to come to you with the best deals, and you will attract all this goodness from all areas, internally, externally, and you'll be on fire. So let's do this. Never give up. Go out there today, put these strategies into action, and let's crush it.